Hello, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining in. My name's Tanya Murat. I'm the chair of Southwark Defend Council Housing. I'm a coordinator of the Up the Elephant campaign. Over the last few months in Southwark, we've been fighting to get our council to requisition thousands of empty homes in our borough and turn them into council housing. You can see what we've been up to on #requisitionemptyhomes. This could be just one small part of the solution to the housing crisis. But we also urgently need to stop evictions and cancel the rent debt. There are 36,000 eviction cases currently in the pipework. Every 8 minutes, a child becomes homeless. Housing insecurity affects nearly 10 million people in Britain. This is a housing and health emergency. And that's why Homes for All has organised this event tonight. Homes for All is an alliance of tenants and housing campaigners, and we think we can change this. So let's talk about how. So do invite other people to join us, share us on social media, say hello in the chat, comment and ask questions. Then we'll talk about what we can do. So first of all, I'm going to introduce our 3 inspirational housing campaigners, and then we'll have 3 clips from film director Ken Loach. We've also got a short clip from Grenfell campaigners who've been protesting outside the inquiry over recent weeks. You might have seen that. So I'd like to warmly welcome Ken Loach, Safia Kabir, Joanna Kusiak, and our very own Glyn Robbins from Homes for All. It's going to be an exciting discussion. Please be a part of it. Let's start with Safia. Safia Kabir is from Acorn, Oxford, a community union organising around housing. Please introduce yourself, Safia. I think you're muted, actually.
Sorry, classic.
That's okay. Have another go.
Yeah, so I'm Safia. I'm a member of Acorn, which is a community union. And it's an organization of ordinary people, like a lot of us on this call, who are willing to fight for each other. We take collective action around the issues that affect our daily lives, and we do it in a way that builds long-term working class power. So what exactly is a community union? The idea is that you take the union model of organizing beyond the workplace. So rather than operating like an ordinary campaign group, we're a membership organization that's funded by membership dues and directed by members' votes. When you join as a member of Acorn, what you're saying is, my landlord is grabbing half my wage, but there's still mold in my kid's bedroom, or I've been threatened with eviction, or I have to walk through piles of rubbish to get to my front door. And you're saying that you're not willing to put up with this anymore. You're saying, I'm ready to fight for myself and I'm ready to fight for you. The core of Acorn is the local branch or group, like the Oxford group that I'm part of. And it's a collection of people who've been basically painstakingly recruited on these grounds, often through door knocking. Acorn in the UK started 6 years ago in Bristol, but now we're about to hit 22 branches and groups this week, I think, from 21 to 22, with nearly 5,000 members across England. We have sister organizations in Scotland and on the island of Ireland, Living Rent and Katu, respectively. So yeah, I'm part of Acorn Oxford. We started just in January this year, but we've recently hit 100 members. So we're relatively small, but we're very proud of what we've been building and the way that we've been building it. And basically day to day, the kinds of things that we do is fight for maintenance and repairs for our members, push for rent reductions, and not at the moment because of the eviction ban, but eventually stop evictions. One of our first victories in Oxford was what we call the famous mattress case, was stopping a landlord stealing from one of our members' deposits on a made-up claim. And that was a fight that the member led herself with a kind of wider group. We also run larger scale campaigns. So Acorn Oxford is just starting up its first campaign with landlord licensing. And we're basically pushing for landlord licensing to be introduced in Oxford. Another example of the kind of campaign that's run is in 2017 when Acorn Bristol successfully stopped the council from imposing council tax, which is famously regressive, on 25,000 of the poorest houses in Bristol. Because of the scale of our local organization and the way we work, we also have the power to coordinate national campaigns with a punch to them. So, for example, in coalition with Living Rent and London Renters Union, we got NatWest, Santander, and TSB to remove clauses from their mortgages, which stopped landlords from renting to people on benefits. So that's a bit of a kind of broad picture of what Acorn is and how we work. Hopefully I'll get to talk about it more in a bit.
Okay, you will. Thank you, Safia. Next, we have Joanna Kusiak from, I'll let you describe the organisation, but it's got an interesting word in the title. So please do tell us where you're from. And you're muted at the moment.
Yes, hello, and hello from Berlin. I'm representing the organization called Deutsche Wohnen Co Enteignen, which is German for expropriate Deutsche Wohnen. Now, Deutsche Wohnen is a huge corporation that owns over 100,000 apartment units in Berlin. And it's not the only corporation that owns housing in Berlin. I mean, currently we estimate that at least 250,000 apartments in Berlin that used to be mostly public or communal housing, they were privatized, and they were privatized to stock-listed corporation and financialized in many ways. And now Berlin, which is 85% rental, has a long tradition of tenant struggle. And I guess especially in comparison to UK, one could say that we have way stronger tenant rights. However, these big corporate players, they really changed the game because of their scale, because of the fact that they have legal departments that basically pay lawyers to go around or find loopholes in the tenant laws. So we decided to tackle the housing crisis as its root, and instead of pushing just on the tenant law regulation, change the whole property regime and indeed expropriate those corporations. We use the word expropriation, however, the proper legal term for what we're doing is socialization, which is a way of, on the one hand, moving crucial assets such as apartments from private to public hands, but also at the same time they would have to be managed in a participatory way and they would have to be democratically controlled. So it's not nationalization in a classical sense. It's not top-down procedure. It's a way of making sure that these assets or these apartments, these homes of people are socially controlled. And the way we want to do it is by mixing political action with legal action. There is an article in the German Constitution, Article 15, that allow for socialization of crucial resources in cases where this quasi-monopoly by big owners harms common good. And we argue that it is clear a case of harming common good, the speculation with housing. And we want to, so legally it's possible, thanks to our leveraging of Article 15. Politically, we want to make it possible by way of public referendum. So one could conceive of it as a sort of, nationalization, but from the grassroots up. But it's not nationalization, as I said, it's socialization. That's the difference. And in our campaign, we're really mixing legal tools, which give us certain credibility, give radical agendas different kind of credibility, mixing them strongly with political tools. And till now, we had quite good results, but we actually also amidst the struggle. So it remains to be seen.
Excellent. Look forward to hearing more from you on that. Glyn, you're a long-standing activist in the Homes for All campaign. Tell us a bit about yourself and introduce Ken Loach for us.
I think less about me and more about him, really. But hello, Tanya. Thanks a lot. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. As Tanya said, I've been involved in housing campaigns for a number of years, but not as long as Ken Loach has been making films. I have a kind of rule that I always introduce Ken by reminding people of what he said when back in 1977, he was offered and refused an OBE. For people who don't know, that means the Order of the British Empire. It's a gong from the establishment. And not that many people turned him down, but Ken did. And he said, I turned it down because it's not a club you want to join when you look at the villains who've got it. It's all the things I think are despicable. Patronage, deferring to the monarchy, and the name of the British Empire, which is a monument of exploitation and conquest. And I think those words really do resonate even louder after the year that we've just had. And just looking at the messages that are already coming in, I think it's clear just the esteem with which Ken is held in our movement, within the Labour movement, but also by people who maybe aren't part of the Labour movement, but just like films that depict working class life. And I think, without wishing to speak for him, that's probably how Ken would like to be thought of. So I think we now have a few clips to show just to remind people of some of his work over those years. He said, hopefully.
On the one hand, job seekers allowance only for those able and ready to work. But if you're ill, you have to apply for employment and support, get an assessment carried out.
Well, I've done that, but they've knocked us back.
Right, well, if you've been deemed fit for work, your only option is job seekers allowance, or proceed with the appeal on employment and support.
Wait, can you give me a form for, job seekers allowance and then an appeal form for employment and support?
You have to apply online, sir.
I can't do that.
Well, that's how it is, sir, or you can phone the helpline.
Listen, you give me a plot of land, I can build you a house, but I've never been anywhere near a computer.
Do you know what? We're digital by default.
Oh, here we can. I hear this all the time on the phone. I'm digital by default. Well, I'm pencil by default. Look, I mean, what happens if you just can't do it?
There's a special number if you've been diagnosed as dyslexic.
Right, well, can you give us that? Because with computers, I'm dyslexic.
You'll find it online, sir. I must ask you to leave now, if you've got no appointment. Right, can I help you?
Thomas Armstrong, please.
Right, Mr. Thompson, who's your work coach?
Hang on a minute, Thomas, hang on. Would you like to take a seat?
Oh, I just need a minute. I'm just feeling dizzy, you know.
Come and sit down.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
Could you move on, please, love?
Thanks, Pet. Thank you.
All right. Just get you a glass of water.
Thanks. Oh, thank you, Pet, thank you.
Are you all right? You look a bit pale.
It's just so bloody confusing. All the jargon. I mean, there must be some mistake. I'm just going round and round in circles.
Thomas, you sit here and drink your water, Pat.
Thank you.
So now you're going to sanction me, so I'm not getting money from you. I'm going to refer you to the decision maker and they'll make a decision on whether they're going to sanction you. I'm not actually making the decision, they're going to do that. And then if they do decide to sanction you, then you will take a 40% cut in your
I know what it is, I
benefits.
don't need you to explain it to me.
Right, well, there isn't anything else anybody can do today.
Well,
So what I'm going to have to do is, look, I think
you're going to put me in for sanction.
I have to follow the rules. And the thing is, if you're going to be aggressive with me, then I'm going to have to ask
It's not
you
about
to
me being aggressive.
No, I'm going to have to ask you
I'm
to
trying to
leave.
explain to you a situation and you don't care.
Security.
I don't know why people like you do this
Security.
job.
Referring you to the decision maker.
It's all the same thing. I don't want to read your language because it's all the same thing.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, look, but you're going to have to...
I don't, yeah, all right, thank you. Take your hands off me. I'm going to speak to the manager. I don't want to speak to you.
I'm just trying to...
Sorry?
I'm just explaining
What
what's
you want to
happening
speak
here.
to?
No,
Go back up there.
Right, come and talk to me then if you've got
Okay,
something to
sorry.
say.
All right. I've tried to explain to the woman, I've never been to Newcastle before. We've just moved up here from London. I've been here a few days. I don't know where I'm going, okay? I was on the bus, it's gone the wrong way. We've got off the bus, run, so there wasn't any more late. She just doesn't want to know. She doesn't want to know. And now she's telling me she's going to refer me for a sanction.
What I want you to do is listen to me, okay? The lady's told you what's right. There's rules here, rules that we have to stick to, okay? It isn't against you, but you have a
mate,
duty.
listen, I'm not saying it's against
you
me.
have
All
a
I'm
duty
saying
to
is,
be here on time.
and I'm explaining to you why I wasn't here on time.
Do you know
but
what?
I got lost.
I understand, right? But what I gather now is the decision maker. The decision maker's going to be sending you a letter through the post. You're going to have to wait for that, and then you're going
Yeah,
to...
my kids have got to start school tomorrow. I've got about 12 quid in my purse.
Do you know what
All because you can't just calm down and listen to people when they talk.
Right,
You all
again,
have to do this.
do you know what? I've
with
listened
your
to you.
rules.
You've created a scene. I think
I've created this. No, mate, I've created it. If I was going to
building.
create a scene, you'd know about it.
You need to
trust
leave
me.
the building.
I'm sorry, look.
Okay, you need to.
You're gonna
This
have
is
to go.
ridiculous. What am I
Jesus
supposed
Christ!
to do?
Who's first in this queue?
I am.
Do you mind if this young lass signs on first?
No, you carry on.
There you go. Now you can go back to your desk and let her sign on and do the job that the taxpayer pays you for. This is a bloody disgrace.
Listen, all right? This doesn't have to involve you. Everybody's trying to do their job here, and you're creating more of a scene again.
But look, you're not listening to her. She's out of the area. She's just been here a few minutes, cackling on her assignment. She's got 2 kids
I'll
with
tell
her,
you
man.
what. Right.
What's wrong with you
right.
people?
Listen, this isn't your concern. I want you to get out as well, all right? I need you to leave. We need to do this right, yeah? All right?
Listen. Just going to phone the police.
Phone the police. Can we get some perspective in here?
It's
ridiculous, man.
All right?
Come on. Thanks very
Come on,
much.
bit of perspective,
Right.
please, here, man.
Oh, wait, don't be
Shouldn't even be in the
Listen,
job.
come
Shouldn't
on.
even be in the job.
Please, come on, get out.
Ah, she needs help, man.
Let's get going.
Just let her sign on.
Let's get going, all right?
Please. I don't know what's wrong with you, lot. I
I
really
need you
don't.
to keep going for me, okay?
Hello. Hello. How nice to see you. And have you brought your little dog today? Thank you very much. Thank you. So just food for yourself and the 2 children, Katie. Thank you. The 2 children have a drink of juice and a biscuit. Would you like to go and see Agnes? Agnes, could you do juice and a biscuit, please? Jackie? Yeah? Would you be able to help Katie with her shopping today, please? There you are. Thank you.
Hi, Katie. Thank you. So we've got 1 adult and 2 children. Yeah, come with me. We'll start with the vegetables, yeah?
Okay.
Right. I'll give you one side and we'll share it, yes? A couple of onions.
Is there anything we could do for you, hon?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Are you sure? Right, all right.
Yeah. You just moved up here, your accent's not from here, you're not a Georgia girl.
Yeah, been up for a little while. Just come up from London.
Right, nice accent. Can you understand the Georgians?
Almost.
Right, over here. I think we need another bag. Never got one.
No. Well, something. It's a nice tea something.
Well, I'll just keep going in with stuff and then you tell me what you don't need, yeah?
Have you got any sanitary?
I don't have sanitary towels, no.
All right, not to worry.
Don't really donate them much like that. It's a shame. You should. Right. If you open your bag, right? And a couple of toilet rolls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll go to the food. It's falling out of your bag. And a couple of tins. Right. Tins in yours. Put them in there. Another tin. Anything else you want? There you go.
Okay, thank you.
There's pasta sauce over here. I'll get you some pasta sauce. So pasta sauce. And there's a pasta here as well. I'll get you pasta.